Like me, you can convince yourself that you are getting closer to your dreams, but an honest look at things will reveal that you are only deluding yourself. When you act contrary to your values and goals, internal conflict arises. You know exactly what you should be doing at the moment: working on a project, being around loved ones, eating right, or doing something else, but you are consciously moving in the opposite direction. Like me, you can convince yourself that you are getting closer to your dreams, but an honest look at things will reveal that you are only deluding yourself. Happiness is when what you think, say, and do is in harmony. Gandhi was absolutely right. When you act contrary to your values and goals, internal conflict arises. You know exactly what you should be doing at the moment: working on a project, being around loved ones, eating right, or doing something else, but you are consciously moving in the opposite direction. Like me, you can convince yourself that you are getting closer to your dreams, but an honest look at things will reveal that you are only deluding yourself. Your results are a direct consequence of your behavior. And when you deliberately sabotage your attempts to achieve something, you cannot feel confident. On the contrary, you may encounter depression and inner turmoil. Personally, I constantly find myself checking social media network, knowing that it distracts me from work. I can't say no to my wife's homemade chocolate spread bread, knowing that I won't get ripped abs that way. I often go days without writing anything, even though I know that each day of inactivity can cost me an extra month of work towards achieving my goal. To be honest, my behavior often goes against my goals and beliefs. Perfectionism should not be a guideline. However, consistency, adherence to values, and the implementation of goals leads to significant results. There is no other way. If you want to be successful, you must behave accordingly. Aristotle said, "We are what we systematically do." We live life in 24-hour segments. We all have 24 hours in a day. If your day was not whole, then life will not be. However, once you have mastered everything, you will inevitably succeed. How was your day today? Seriously. Take a look at everything you've done today. Have you acted the way the person you aspire to be would live that day? If you live every day of the year the same way you live today, what will you accomplish this year? If you really intend to achieve your goals, what should you change about today? What should your typical day look like in order for you to reach your goal? The best way to consciously model the life of your dreams is to start with a perfect day. What should it consist of? What needs to happen daily for you to live exactly the way you want? You are probably already doing a few things from the picture of your ideal day at the moment, but how much do they bring you closer to the desired result? Your ideal day should be based on your own understanding of the life you want. You are the only one who can determine your happiness and success. We are all in complete control of how we use our time. If you think otherwise, then you are more likely to be controlled, e.g., have a victim mentality, and will remain that way until you decide to take responsibility for your actions. What does your ideal day look like? What to do? 1. Take a couple of minutes to imagine your perfect day. 2. Make a to-do list of which it will consist. 3. Start tracking how you live your days. As you begin to take control of your time and become conscious, you become aware of the degree of internal imbalance. I realize this is much easier said than done. However, living your days consciously and according to your goals is absolutely possible, just as it is possible to replace bad habits with new ones. And you can definitely become the person you want to be. Theory of motivation and self-control. When you have clearly defined goals, internally tuned in, set a time frame, you just have to move in a given direction. If you lack motivation, then there are problems with your goal. Or you chose not the best goal, did not specify it, or the time frame was not set correctly. Here's how good goals work on a psychological level. According to research, self-control is a psychological process that reveals contradictions between our tasks and our behavior. A volley of motivation is the force that helps get us from where we are now to where we want to be. Self-control works in 3 ways. Monitoring determines how well we are doing work at the moment. Evaluation determines how productive we are in relation to our goals. Responsiveness determines how we think and feel about goals. In the event that we are not satisfied with our progress, the reaction prompts us to allocate the available resources differently. In order to not only achieve your goal, but also significantly exceed the established limits, put in more effort than seems necessary. Most people underestimate the amount of effort it takes to achieve a goal. Don't expect ideal conditions. Get ready for troubles and obstacles. It is much better to overestimate the amount of time and effort required than to underestimate them. Realization of intentions. Of course, achieving goals is not the easiest thing to do. If that were the case, then everyone would be successful. Often people fail to achieve their goals due to problems with self-control. A huge amount of research is looking for an answer to the question, how to support people on the way to their goal if they start to lose motivation in the process. The answer is what psychologists call realization of intentions. This method is often used by athletes. For example, an ultramarathon runner preparing for a grueling race determines the conditions under which he will retire. For example, if I completely lose my sense of direction, I will stop. If you do not determine in advance the conditions under which you will retire, you will give up prematurely. According to the data, most people stop with 40% more options left. However, the theory of realization of intention has gone even further. Not only do you need to know under what conditions you can stop, you must also identify goal-oriented behavior when you are faced with negative circumstances. You can't just want to succeed. You need to be prepared for the worst. You will often deviate from the course. You need to prepare for those moments when there will be no motivation at all. Preparation is achieved by creating triggers that will restart your motivation. What to do? 1. Examine the obstacles that may be on your way to your goal. For example, you decide to give up sweets, and your favorite dessert is served at a party. What will be your reaction? 2. Imagine every obstacle you can think of, and then come up with an answer for each that will bring you closer to the goal. This way you will be ready for war. As Richard Marcinko said, the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in combat. 3. When you hit an obstacle, take proactive action. There is no tomorrow unless you do something today. How you spend today is a clear indicator of who you are and who you will become. It is not enough just to want a better future. You need to be clear about what that future should look like and start living it today. Winners act like winners even before they start winning. If you don't act like a winner today, you won't be one tomorrow.